Daniel grew up in a small village where people worked hard but earned little. His parents were farmers. They didn't have much, but they always told him, "Education will change your life." When Daniel finished secondary school with good results, everyone in the village was proud. He was the first child in his family to get admission into a university. The day the admission letter arrived, his mother danced, and his father kept saying, "My son is going to the city to learn." But after the excitement came silence, the kind that happens when reality sets in. The school fees were more than what his father earned in a whole season of farming. They sold some of their crops and even borrowed from neighbors, but it still wasn't enough. But Daniel refused to let this dream die. He promised himself that no matter what it took, he would go to school, he would finish, and he would make them proud. So, with a small bag of clothes, a few naira, and hope in his heart, Daniel left the village for the university. When the semester began, Daniel looked for any job he could find. He started working at a small eatery near the campus. He also started working at a small construction site near the campus. Every morning, before lectures, he would carry blocks and mix cement. His clothes were always covered in dust, and sometimes he came late to class, but he never missed a single one. His classmates didn't know what he went through. Some even laughed at his old shoes and tired look, but Daniel didn't care. He always told himself, "I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm here to build my future." He never missed a lecture. His focus was only on building his future. Life got tougher as time went on. After lectures, Daniel worked as a cleaner in a restaurant. He would sweep floors, wash plates, and sometimes sleep there when it got too late to return to his hostel. There were nights he slept hungry. On some mornings, all he had was water before going to class. Daniel is one of the brightest students in his department. Still, he sat in the front row, took notes, and listened carefully. His dream was to graduate, no matter how slow or painful the journey felt. While others traveled home for holidays, Daniel stayed back to work any job he could, washing cars, carrying goods at the market, even selling bottled water when business was slow. His hands became rough and full of blisters, but his heart stayed strong. At night, he studied by candlelight or under the small rechargeable lamp he bought from his savings. Sometimes he would fall asleep on his books, wake up, and continue reading. He used to whisper to himself, "One day, all this suffering will mean something." In his final year, Daniel almost gave up. His fees increased, and he had no one left to ask for help. For days, he walked around thinking of quitting, but one lecturer noticed his effort and asked why he looked so down. When Daniel told him his story, the man was moved and helped him apply for a small scholarship. That scholarship covered his last semester. For the first time, Daniel didn't have to worry about money, just his exams. Graduation day finally came. Daniel stood in line with hundreds of students, wearing a gown he borrowed from a friend. When his name was called, he walked up the stage slowly, fighting back tears. He looked at his hands, the same hands that had carried blocks, washed floors, and written exams through sleepless nights. At that moment, he felt everything was worth it. He wasn't just a graduate, he was proof that hard work, faith, and consistency can build a future from nothing. When his parents hugged him after the ceremony, his mother cried and said, "You did it, Daniel, you really did it." And he smiled, because he knew every pain, every struggle, every lonely night had led to that moment.